Man, I did it again. Without fail, every time I start one of these streams, I'm muted, and I'm like, oh, I'll mute myself before I start talking. One of these days I'll learn. Maybe I'll like write a sticky note and put it on my forehead or something. But hi guys, how's it going? Today we are going to review episode 2, uh, uh, Crosses and Daggers. For just a quick announcement, we have part 3 of episode 1 currently being uploaded onto the YouTube. Should be done within the next 15-20 minutes. Excited to get that out to you guys. You can watch all of episode 1 uninterrupted by me on my YouTube, D-Machine DMs, as well as Project Intro and part 1 through 3 of my reviews. Broke it up into 2-hour segments because it's kind of hard to sit down and stream for 6 hours straight with so much going on in my life right now. But really excited. At the end of that session, I kind of briefly explained that I was having kind of like a team meeting with the rest of my party, and kind of wanted to figure out how we wanted to go about this. We had already discussed about streaming and posting clips onto YouTube, but now kind of assigning certain roles to certain teammates. I learned more about them as people just through this little team meeting. I found out one of them is actually like a trained sound technician. I had no idea. So we're looking at getting some better equipment, better cameras, better microphones, so you guys can hear some of the people at the far side of the table instead of just me. Also working on sound quality in itself for those players that aren't around the table. There's a bit of an echo because we have them playing through a speaker, and it's getting picked up by my microphone and their microphone through Streamlabs, and it sounds poor currently. But just know that that is something that we're working on in the near future. I do have this video, which is just over 3 hours long, and then I've got 2 other videos adding up to about 8.5 hours before we start making some serious changes. So bear with me, it will get better, I promise. And welcome to Crosses and Daggers. Go ahead and hit play, and you guys can stop listening to me yabber on. Now that you guys can actually hear me now.
I don't know.
Well,
It was really weird.
You have to be yelling in like the perfect Steven Scott's voice. Parkour, parkour.
Okay, so yep, TJ's back. So
We left off at the beginning of our fight, it sounds like.
yeah, so obviously you can go back and listen to it. There's gonna be more stuff in there that I'm gonna forget off the top of my head. It was either Reveler or Dandy got the final kill on it. Dandy.
He was freaking out and
He was-
Oh yeah, that was
So anyways, it started blasting.
Yeah.
Started blasting.
Yeah. So Dandy got the final blow on it. After everyone kind of spread out. You took the party through after it died. Its sword flung up into the air. Otar got a new sword.
Holy knockers.
Yeah. Then you took the party to where you saw the vampire run off to, which was there was a tripwire, and it stopped an illusion of a wall. So it was just an empty walkway. Took a few minutes, and you guys finally got into like a dungeon that was actually like stoned out. There was a lot of crates with there were sunglasses and telescopes.
2 vampire bitches.
2 vampire spawns that were chained to the walls. You guys used some magic cantrips and killed it. As you guys got up or out. There's a hatch going straight up into a house in essentially the middle of Alta Nova. Connor found out after he kind of walked out a little bit, and it is the Flat Top District in Alta Nova. So I know a few of you guys grabbed some of, like, I think you grabbed 3 pairs of sunglasses. 2?
One to wear, one to hold.
I thought you put one in your bag as well. I think Revlor took like a telescope.
Yeah.
And then you also found.
Oh, that green gem with
Yep.
the diodes.
Yep.
Yeah. And I
So.
think
Dandy found one that was that was being used.
Yeah.
He grabbed that one off the floor, pulled the diodes out of it. And then Dandy and Otar went to go collect their winnings, and headed over to the Iron Tulip, which was a tavern, and talked with someone that I exhaustedly named Quinoa, who is now named Quina, because that makes more sense than a food.
I told you. I did change the name.
Kim's.
That's king.
So yeah, you guys talked with Quina discussing the bounty on Otar's head, after giving some brief directions to Connor, Revlor, and Creorin to go to Temple Court, where you guys took one of the vampire spawn's corpses, wrapped it up in sheets and blankets, rented a wheelbarrow.
Right, and I'm taking it to the church of someplace, of my temple. Be like, yo.
I think that's where you wanted to take it.
Yeah.
Do you need a beverage?
That would be nice.
What kind of beverage do you want?
A Mountain Dew, if you would.
So after discussing with the bartender how severe or unsevere Otar's bounty is, it seemed to be rather mediocre. There was no actual casualties. So you decided to tell the tale of
Find the fire demon.
well, hold on, I have it written down of what you actually called it.
I only titled last session Use the Fire. That was a frying pan.
It was like the story of the false god or something like that.
Oh yeah, I made it sound like it was great.
The fake demon god is what you said word for word. Okay, so you 3 are putting a vampire corpse in a wheelbarrow.
Fun times.
Yeah, you rented.
And that you rented.
Yeah.
Rented.
Not the corpse. The
Yep. I don't think most people pay for necrophilia. I think they just take it.
There's some twisted people out there.
So who wants to go first? The Dandy, Revlor, and
Demons, so we can start there.
or sorry, not responsible party or irresponsible party. Who wants to go first?
Responsible party. Irresponsible took over at the end of last time.
Okay.
So, body wrapped up in a wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm.
Totally not sus.
Yep.
Going to the temple. The dwarven guy was Dirk something.
Are you talking about the vampire?
That's Hawkenberg, yeah.
Hawkenberg, that was
Yeah.
I thought it was Black and Dirt. What the hell?
You were tired.
it.
Also, Just real quick, speaking of the sus body, I'm gonna like try to minor illusion it so there's just kind of some stuff on top of it, so it just looks like a wheelbarrow full of some stuff.
Not just a
That helps.
It's
Yeah.
That helps.
essentially a 5-foot long thing wrapped up.
Yeah, because it's a 5-foot cube, so there's just some stuff on top of it that doesn't really exist.
There you go,
It looks like yeah.
I was a little afraid of getting something hard. Really bad.
So you guys take a few minutes with the wheelbarrow. It probably takes you a good 10-15 minutes asking some people directions on how to get to the temple court. Everyone kind of just gives you guys a quick glance. I mean, there's a very wide variety of like races and people. However, it's like you guys are walking down a subdivision with a wheelbarrow. They don't recognize you guys. Like, this is their homes.
Right.
So they're kind of looking at you guys a little weird, like you guys are on the wrong side of town. But give you guys direction. Takes you guys a few minutes to get to. Eventually, you guys arrive at like a cul-de-sac. And in the cul-de-sac are these large temples, 6 of them to be specific, and each temple all looks exactly the same, except for stained glass. Each temple has a different stained glass, and above their big massive doors, there's a different emblem. You guys see one on the far left is stained glass of a sun. The next one is just a golden coin. The next one is a head of a unicorn. You see the silver gauntlet with an eye in the center of it. The next one is a moon, and the one after that are balanced scales. And at this point, like, people are more leaving the temples as the sun is at this point. The sun's down. It's still a little bit of light left over, but you can no longer see the sun. There's that few minutes.
Was there one that you said that related to him? Picture?
The silver gauntlet with an eye?
Yeah.
That one.
I'll go there.
Okay.
And I will take a look. I'll go there because it's really pretty. Big thing. I will take a look. I'll go there because it's really big thing.
Shanks.
Is there cheese? I just realized I can have cheese possibly.
I mean, technically, I didn't choose. Thank you. I have Velveeta and cheddar and parmesan.
Just like two, like.
So pre-shredded shit.
It's fine.
It's not gonna melt.
It's fine. Thank you. Yes, go to Temple Town.
I forgot to add to the ambience. As you guys are heading there and going through the town, despite it being sunset and everyone's going home, the city is still super loud. You still have a lot of smells of delicious food hitting your nose, and at no point through your travel is it dying down at all.
City that never sleeps.
You get the idea that it might be that type of city, yeah.
You guys better not hit up the script. Don't do it.
So, you recognize the silver gauntlet with the eye. It's like, this is probably the temple where I should go. And there's a small flight of stairs that between the three.
What's
you
up, guys?
can
How's it going?
muster getting the wheelbarrow up the stairs without items falling out. But as you get to the top of the stairs and you guys try the door, and you try the door is locked.
Locked all day. Priest is on his dinner break.
10 o'clock. The fuck do you want?
Yeah, that's another thing that we.
Oh, I wanted to
are-
ask. After the whole cave thing, who still has inspiration?
That's another thing that we discussed in our team meeting yesterday. We're gonna actually move the time back a little bit so that we have some extra time to set up all the new equipment, microphones, cameras, whatever that is going to entail. We're gonna test some different things, see what works, see what doesn't. But we'll also try to snack less in front of an open mic. Seems to be an ongoing trend through this episode where you get to hear me really crunching down on some BLTs, and I apologize, but I was hungry. In my defense,
I don't.
I don't.
Use it to get a spell slot back.
I use it to how to reroll to hit the thing.
Creon, you still have inspiration?
As far as I know, I don't think it was used.
We would have used your inspiration. And I don't think I think Otar's the only person who hasn't gotten inspiration yet.
Of course, saving throw.
Yep.
That means you're
Okay.
damage. That's what I
Tell Ryan to get good.
I rolled super dummy
Wow.
and I said, you know what? This is a good time to reroll.
Okay, so just Connor and Creorn just have inspiration at this point. It's only like a few seconds, 15 to 30 seconds before you start hearing a and the door opens out, allowing the three of you guys in the wheelbarrow. You don't see the person opening the door, but like you can hear the shuffling behind the door that there's someone behind the door.
Right.
You all come in.
I'm going first. I'm the wheelbarrow behind me.
love you. Have a good day.
I'm gonna say, hello? Anyone here?
You look forward, and it is. Are you waiting on me for attention? Oh, I'm sure I will. Does anyone else want more?
Yeah, sure, I'll take more.
You're a little early, Ryan.
But I put on your Lamborghinis, your Chevrolets,
Big toes.
your Ford.
Chuparoos.
Before you say hello, you look forward, and it's very big inside. The interior is just as beautiful as the outside. Stained glasses along the wall, the roof. There's statues and paintings of the helm, of great fights, and just like the helm protecting people. Towards the front where you see the altar, you see.
Sorry, I gotta pause it again and do a mic check. Mic check. Mic. Check. Mic. Hello. Check. Mic. Hello. Okay. It looks like it's still working. Got a message from a friend saying it wasn't. Bye. Have a good day. I love you. Drive safe.
There's seating, and there is a few humans, a few people, like sitting in the stands quietly. Some of them, seem to be a little lower. Either they're short or they're kneeling. And as the three of you guys walk in, you hear kind of an older woman's voice close the door behind you three. And she's good evening, travelers, and welcome. You look at her, she's like mid-40s, graying hair. She's got some wrinkles. She's pretty short, like 5'4". And she welcomes you guys in, kind of looking at you guys a little weirdly. And after she closes the door, she relocks it. Is there something I can help you with?
Somewhat. Mostly something I wanted to report. I'm Connor Smith.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
And been on some travels and encountered one. Do you know of a dwarf named Hawkinger?
I can't say that I do.
He has a house, I presume it was his house, in the Flat Top district. And he's a vampire. And he had one of these in his basement. Yeah, and then I'll sort of just tug the canvas away from like the face and the mouth. Let's show like the skin, the mottled hair, and like the vampire fangs.
Oh dear! And I kind of push her hand to put it back over.
I didn't really know who to report this to.
Excuse me, looks like I have to charge my phone.
And I thought reporting it here would be a first.
Okay.
Guards can be bought, but I think everyone here would be treacherous.
Well, I can assure you, you guys are safe here. Do you guys immediately need anything? Food, water?
Water. We've been underground in hot places.
Am I still wearing my water backpack? I just realized.
Yeah. Unless you wanted to leave it at the house,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think so. So I think I just
Put it in your mouth and
yeah, right?
It's warm. It's still water, but it's liquid.
Drinking water would be nice though.
Well, I could get you some fresh water.
Yeah,
Connor Smith, and she looks over at the other two of you guys. Your names, please.
I am Revelor.
Last name?
I'm gonna roll for insight. Can I roll for
You may.
come up with a different last name. It's gonna be 14.
Okay.
I'm Revelor Anju.
Okay.
My name is Prior O'Brien.
Okay. You're welcome to take a seat or just. I'll be right back.
Obviously, I'm not fooling you or creating.
Right.
You guys
Yeah.
know my last name.
She leaves. She takes one of the side paths up towards the front of the altar and heads into a door. Disappears for a few minutes. As you guys are waiting, a few of the people that are sitting in the stands, they get up, they finish whatever it is that they were doing, and they head to the door and they patiently wait. And
move the cart out of the way
Sure.
of the door.
Sure, of course.
Did you want another one?
And
What am I using?
Still finishing this one. But I will give you an answer.
after a few minutes, you see her coming back up, and she has a man with her this time, and she also has just a small thing of water, like not a glass, but
Like a small pitcher.
yeah. And they come up to you guys, and the man that you see with her is short brown hair, maybe 20s, early 30s, average build and height, He's wearing dark blue robes with gold lining and a medallion identical to yours. And she walks up with him, hands you guys the pitcher to share. Didn't bring you any cups, but she hands it off to you and walks past you guys to start unlocking the door and lets some patrons out. The gentleman comes up to you guys and, good evening. My name is Cedric.
Evening, Cedric.
I understand you guys have, looking at the wheelbarrow, interesting problem.
Yes, I'm Connor. This is Valor. This is Greenward. Yeah. So I was originally sent here. I wanted to come to Altanova. On the way, long story short, things happened, and we discovered mushrooms of wheelbarrow that a Hawkendirk, a dwarven mine worker or guard captain of some rank, somewhere around there, owns a house in not Cloudtop, that's Skyrim.
Or
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, how are
that's a
you?
critical role.
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good.
In his basement was
Got a little bit of a late
another
start to
one
the
for that
stream.
access proof.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to
And
do
then
as much as I wanted to today,
further
but
past that is a giant lava pool
I think I
with
should be
a
able to at
gate
least
to
finish this session.
an infernal realm. So I came to make a report about this.
Okay. I should have mentioned, but my mouth was full. As he introduces himself, he welcomes all of you guys. Connor, Creorn, Revelor shakes your hand, reaches out to shake your guys' hands, and in response to what you said, the undead problem is news to me. However, we're rather aware of the portal underneath there. However, it's been left underground for many years.
Well, as we reached it, a big thing came out. We were able to beat it back down, and it went away. But we only returned to its place.
If I may be so bold, kind of a demonic, armored face, big horns,
Giant sword.
maybe called himself Farid.
I believe he called himself Farid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he.
It's like a punk devil who tried to play it up big.
Yep, there's been reports of him doing that over the last century or two.
He just keeps popping up in that basement.
Pretty much.
And
Most of the time, he's not very successful in getting out of the room.
so you guys haven't decided to collapse the place, just sort of deal with it? Just leave it alone?
We've found, we collapsed most of the underground there. Many people have tried to build caves to get to the portal. We've done our best to seal the rooms so that he's just stuck in there once he gets there. But if we put too much pressure on top of, the molten lake, it either pushes back up and creates more havoc on top of the land, or
Right.
just pushes through and makes the portal bigger.
Okay, well, yeah, so the guy who had his house on top of the thing was a vampire. I don't know why he was keeping other vampires in his basement, but He was.
Interesting.
We chased him through the caves, ended up down there, fought Farid. He fled up into the city. We don't know where he is right now. And he's dangerous. He thought Farid would kill us. Obviously he didn't. But I just didn't really know what to do other than make a report of it to people who possibly be able to deal with it.
Okay. Well, I can gather some intel and see what can be done. Connor, I'm actually really glad you're here. We were expecting you a few weeks ago.
I've been a little sidetracked.
I can see that.
Passport needed to get in the city. I've been around the area for a while. It's just, yeah.
Haley comes up and is asking some questions. It sounds like they're talking about some sort of food that's being cooked. But as he's having a conversation with her, you hear inside of your mind Cedric's voice. How much do you trust your companions?
Thanks for a moment. With him is only Revelor and Creon.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you can reply to this.
Yes.
I know you were thinking.
Let's say I trust Creon. Revelor's an elf. He's a bit strange. Who knows?
He's talking to her and he nods. Looks back to the three of you guys. Well, I can dispose of this corpse, if that's what you'd like.
I mean, I can take it back, dump it in the basement. No problem.
I have a more permanent solution.
Alright.
He kind of waves to all three of you guys here. Follow me.
Try to bring the wheelbarrow.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up the wheelbarrow. Make sure it's covered.
Real quick, at random, your audio is cutting out. It gets super crackly, and it's happening for both right now. So,
Yay,
it's
more
like
technical
5 or 6 words
difficulties.
at random.
We'll get this figured out one day, guys.
It's just happening at random. It's happened to both when Damien and Ethan have talked.
It almost sounds like a upload issue or like a connection issue or something.
Yeah.
It kind of goes to like robot voice a little bit.
Yeah. Not sure.
No, the camera. Or it should be the camera on.
Deep throat something and see what happens.
Yeah, it's the camera.
Treat this as the mic. Just switch the settings over.
I mean, we can try it. Do you have a cord for it?
Ebony, get the fuck out of there.
It was just happening at random, but now that I'm actually potentially being talked to, it was kind of.
Be the volume.
Yeah, let's say we might have just been talking a little quiet. But he brought over a different microphone that I'm willing to try.
Like Shakespeare is.
Speak
Emphasize.
Speak to the back of the room.
I think it's a whisper.
I'm just wondering where to put it.
Yeah, just probably put it right here in front of me because you guys are all talking to me.
Right.
I do declare.
I'll put it right here. That is a 360 mic. So that should be fine.
It's
Oh, good.
I've been practicing. Around me at work. It's great when you just like have no one else around you. You can like, improv anything, and it only becomes weird when you just suddenly stop when someone walks in the room.
And you're just like, oh, hello.
You're just like, I hear noise through the door. The noise, quiet. And you're looking at them like you haven't been doing that.
What?
What are you just doing? Just comment at someone.
It's not even coming up as a input setting on my Discord.
Oh, that's what you do better now.
Blue snowball. Switch device.
How was that?
I can hear everybody. It was happening at random, so it wasn't a consistent thing, and that's why Ryan and I hadn't said anything yet. But
Okay.
yeah, it was starting to happen a little bit more frequently.
Okay. Yeah. So, I trust Kuron. Said I don't really trust the Rebel all that much.
Right.
And he was turning this in.
Strictly because you're not.
That's fair racism.
There's a little war between the races.
I wondered why I didn't use my real name. This is why. Elf racism.
It's funny, that's what the Nazis.
So he takes you guys.
Right.
He takes you guys with the wheelbarrow to one of the side doors on each side of the altar, and it's a small flight of stairs. Left turn, another small flight of stairs, where it meets up in the center, and it's another left. So it does like a U.
Left turn. Left turn.
But they like meet.
Left turn.
So
all of a sudden it's
as you get
NASCAR.
down to the bottom of the stairs, you see it's it's a smaller hallway. At the very far end, you see a single torch inside of what looks to be like a cage. There's there's total of 4 doors. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. The first door on your right-hand side is unlocked, and you can hear a lot of like shuffling. You hear someone kind of singing to himself. And as you guys walk further in, you look in. It's a kitchen. There's a human male who's working on some food. The door on the left is closed. The door on the far right is also closed. And he continues further to the cage. He pulls out some keys, unlocks it, swings the door open, and if any of you guys care so much to have looked, he has you set the wheelbarrow
Julian, how are
inside
you?
the center of the cage. But as you put the wheelbarrow on the cage, you notice that the cage swivels around a bit. And it's being suspended.
I'm going to take
Pain. That's not good.
Because if he's gonna burn it, I rented the wheelbarrow.
You'll get the wheelbarrow back. Don't worry. Don't worry. Leaves the whole thing in there. Locks the door again. And he pulls, there's one rope that's anchored, and he pulls it just once.
Did something
and
happen,
turns
or
back
just
to the first door
common
that
issue?
is now on your right. So it was on the left, it's now on the right. Can you guys still hear us?
Hello?
What just happened?
I lost your mic, or I lost your camera.
Yeah, your camera's down right now. Both of them.
Have you been able to hear us fine?
You guys' audio is cutting out again.
Yeah, it's kind of breaking up. I don't know.
It's trying to switch to the webcam.
Thought trying to.
What was the name of the guy that we just followed to the cages?
Cedric.
Huh.
You would recognize the name Cedric. Cedric Mockin.
Saving a.
He
If you don't mind me
was
asking, saving a teacher from what?
The
What
elder
happened?
that wasn't able to get to Kusha. I apologize. I'm gonna have to close my secondary Discord. You guys are no longer gonna be able to see Ethan because I think that's what's really screwing this thing up. And I'm gonna unplug it. It's trying to switch back and forth between 2 different cameras and 2 different audio sources. Oh, that was my freaking. That was my mouse, not my camera.
What?
I have a mouse plugged into my laptop as well as. God damn it.
I'll just sit here and eat freeze-dried candy.
Fair enough. What kind of candy? And don't say freeze dry.
I was going to. This is the sour Skittle.
What?
Nice.
What is freeze-dried candy? I literally got a
Really
bag
good.
of freeze-dried like Starburst at 7-Eleven the other day. Why? What?
The experience is better. It's crunchy. Like this is a part. No, it's blurry. It's part of a gummy worm.
Oh no.
Yeah, I saw that.
So the freeze-dried just makes it like crunchy?
Yeah.
Why
And
would
like
they
look,
want that?
like look at that. That's a gummy worm.
That's
Well, not
some smart thinking. Did your like foot get like ran over or something, or just kind
It's
of
really tasty. I don't know.
twisted the wrong way?
I like
It's a
it.
Sour Patch Kid.
Well, I ate the other part of the gummy worm, so.
So he heads into the next room, opening the door for everyone to walk in. And it's a decently sized room. You see he's got a bed and a wardrobe on one side. There's a wide, maybe like 8-foot wide, it looks like a filing cabinet, but it's got like 25 drawers. And the rest of the room is lined with bookshelves. And there's a couple of small artifacts and like a painting or 2 of scenic pictures. There's no windows, and the only door in and out is the one you just walked into. He closes the door behind you. He doesn't lock it.
Ouch.
He just closes it behind you guys.
I couldn't imagine that.
So,
that must really hurt. I'm sorry.
I heard from Freyharu and Celine.
Certainly,
who had
good
been
thing
here
you
a
were
couple of
there.
weeks
It
ago.
sounds like it could have been a lot worse.
I hoped all was well, but I suppose I understand now. Even still, I see they gave you one of the packs. You could have sent us a letter.
Would you be able to just grab the entry? A letter?
Say that again?
Would you have been able to just grant me entry if I sent you a letter or into the city?
I'm sure something like that probably could have been arranged. To be honest, may have forgotten to. He goes as he's talking. He's walking around to his desk. He grabs a small parchment and writes something down. I may have forgotten to tell the other temples about the passports.
Yeah, I wasn't told about that at all. And when I got here,
I
had
apologize.
to do some jobs to get one. That's the reason.
I apologize.
It's fine. I'm in the city now, but I actually didn't even get to use it because of the underground tunnels.
Nice.
Interesting.
It's a dangerous path through the lava caves, but there technically is a way.
So now there's a way through the portal room.
Yeah, there's like a carved staircase and everything.
My day's been really good. My wife and I kind of cleaned the house a little bit. We ordered a new bed that's going to be here tomorrow, so we had to like rearrange our bedroom a
He
little
has
bit.
one level of exhaustion.
Later on today,
Make a persuasion check.
I get to play D&D. Not the same session that we're watching, or not the same campaign that we're watching, but I get to be a player instead of just a dungeon master. So that's really exciting. And right now I'm kind of doing
Your D20. I want my pink die.
like arts and crafts project, if you will. These are cool papers from.
You don't know. He didn't just go make a persuasion check.
It's called the Book of Summoning, and so when you use them, you fold them over your dungeon master
Despite
screen,
my error,
so that the players get to see the picture of what they're fighting.
Letters.
But on the DM screen, I get all of the stats.
Celine as well.
And helps me, keep track of stats. Other than going back and forth between
the backpack works.
Going back and forth between the monster manual when they fight different types of things, I can just pull out different pictures to show them. Yeah, it's not my idea. Yeah, like I said, the people that made it, it's called the Book of Summoning. They had a Kickstarter a while back, and now they've got their own website. They come in these like really big binders, but I have a decent printer,
He doesn't want it.
so I just bought the PDF, and I'm printing it out for myself.
And at the forefront
And then
of
I
your
bought
mind,
some of these
parchment.
like photo album sleeves for like I don't know, pictures or trading cards or something like that. And I'm cutting them out and sliding them in there. And then once I get it all cut out, I'll
It comes to your mind, or you
alphabetize
think about
it.
it, and in your hand you feel a few small pieces of parchment come in, and there's 3 of them. One is signed by Freyharu, and 2 of them are signed by Celine, and they are lists.
Hello, I'm
One additional potion of healing with the helm stuff.
Yeah, it's certainly
2 days
made it
of
easier.
dried meat rations. 1
And
case of water.
It's really good for like improvised fights where you don't like
has,
have a map or anything made up.
Pastry.
You can just bust out the paper and make it look like you had the thing.
So
As
you're looking
fight
at the parchment, put your hand back in and you think of these things, and you're all able to draw them out. He goes, when they can, or when they have extras, they send these things to you guys. When you think of the pastries, you pull it out and they are moldy. They are gross.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I didn't really think.
Really good for random encounters as well. So when your party's traveling, you can,
Put it back in.
do a roll for a random encounter, and then flip through the book real quick, and then find the thugs or a basilisk, dire bears and wolves and stuff like that.
escaping my face.
I forgot a word.
Don't hurt yourself.
Every day, like, do do I have mail?
Yeah.
Mail.
Pulling on someone else's grocery list on accident.
So Connor the Paladin
Shoot.
has made it to the temple
Not that
court,
mail.
to the Temple of the Helm,
If or
and
when.
he's met with the priest Cedric Makin. They'd been expecting him for a while, from word from where he came from, the town of Glish. And when he was sent out on his adventure, he was given this bag of holding that was kind of interesting. One bag, or one portion of the bag, is a normal bag of holding, but the other has a portal to Glish. So he could put in like offerings to the helm, or just send personal things like back to his home for safekeeping, essentially. And so he's getting explained like how it works, and because he never used it, they like sent over food for him, and it's been like 3 weeks. So now all the food that they sent is like really moldy and it's really gross. But he did get like an extra potion of healing, and a couple of letters from friends and family from his hometown.
You send a contribution, sometimes they can send better things if they have it available. Could be just more food for the next few days. I mean, for all I know, they could shove a magical item through there for you, or vice versa. They can store things for you as well.
Yeah, I thought it was
as
going to
you
be
guys
a
are
cool
talking about just having a normal conversation, you hear like a random
extra thing for him to have.
there's a small bell ringing, and you look over, and it's that large filing cabinet thing. And he goes, "Oh, actually, perfect. I can actually show it to you." And he walks over to the filing cabinet. He opens one drawer, pulls out a parchment, reads it, sticks his hand back in, pulls out another letter, and then 2 potions, and then he opens another cabinet, puts them right back into a different one.
Amazon free 1 day shipping. Goddamn.
Like 3 minute shipping. Like, I'm going to take out.
You have to be a prime shipper.
The list is mostly foods, stuff that you would already have like in your like
Right.
stuff for like flint and food and stuff like that.
I'm looking at a torch and put it in my pocket and see if a bell rings. Oh, maybe this isn't how senses work.
The people that I've issued backpacks to send them to me.
Gotcha.
So any of your contributions are going to be sent to Glish.
Okay.
I can attune your pack to be brought here, and if anything needs to be sent to Glish, I just forward it on to them, as well as any of the other temples, just whoever can help who the most.
I love Glish. It's a wonderful home. I think you might be more well equipped to help. No?
We are in a bit of a newer building.
Bit newer, bit bigger. Is the main of the bag of holding the whole sword?
Is normal bag of holding. There's just one
specific pocket of send this to my.
Yeah, it's like you open your backpack and there's that one slot for like a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
That's
that.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay.
Well, I guess that explains why we haven't heard from you.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that too much. I probably should. I've been a little busy.
Understanding. And if they didn't tell you, you didn't know. Because God just didn't think it all the way through when he gave it to you.
He knew it explained to me
At some point.
He works in mysterious ways.
Indeed he does. So, Creorn and Revelor. I must be frank. I don't know you guys. And in these times of war, some of our races are at odds. And he kind of takes like an extra minute to stare at Revelor.
Well, if it helps at all. Although, yes, I may be an elf, I am also human.
Oh wow. Almost midnight. It's only
Yeah,
3
you are.
p.m. here.
And
Alright, well, have a good night,
personally
friend.
have
We'll see you
no
next time.
quarrel with your race.
This
I have no
this
quarrel
clip
with
will be
any
uploaded
races
to
or any
YouTube
people.
probably in a day or
The only
two,
thing
so
that I ask is
you'll
that
you'll be able
you
to check
are
it out
honest.
there. Thanks for stopping by.
So there are things that I must speak with Connor about. And if you guys are traveling with him,
Perfect.
it would include you. But I need to know that I can trust you. I have a spell that will simply ensure that I am not lied to. It is contestable, but I will know if you are not under its effects. Will you allow me to use this?
I do not speak for everyone, but I will allow you to use it on me.
Real good thing Dan isn't there right now.
The only thing I ask is that you do not ask any questions about my family. Is that fair?
Very well.
Then I will.
You
He
too, Julian.
casts
I'll see you later.
Uncontested, with your permission. Yes.
That high enough level one. Goodness.
Gay.
Yeah.
So he takes a.
What spell did he cast, or did you name it?
I didn't name it. What he casts is a Zone of Truth.
Okay.
So typically, when casted, you would have a like Wisdom saving throw to like get out of the effect. But he's not like casting a spell can often be considered aggressive, no matter what the spell is. So like he's telling you that he's doing it, and he's hoping that you will just accept the fail, not contest it, just let it wash over you. But the affected creature is aware of the spell and thus can avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such creatures can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth.
So you can say, I can answer that, but you can't actually, like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, it's...
You can plead the fifth.
Yeah.
But you
I appreciate your guys' time with this. Let's start with some easy stuff. Connor, is there any more people that you are currently traveling with than these other two?
Yes.
Where are they now?
Not sure. What did Danny?
I did not tell you where I was going. I just simply said we were gonna go look for an inn.
I think you said you were. Oh yeah, you did say in.
You said you told Otar you were gonna go collect his winnings.
Right.
I told Otar to give him a fob. I told
Right.
them
Yeah.
we're gonna go get a place to rest. We're gonna go search for an inn.
Don't really know. They were looking
Nuggets.
for an inn to stay the night while I came and delivered the body.
Okay. What are their names?
Dandy and Opa.
To all three of you, what is your opinion on Ephron, the state of the elves? I'm going to go back to my Discord page so I can see DJ.
My opinion on it.
My opinion is somewhat mixed because obviously my homeland. I haven't been there in some time. I've been off doing archaeological work.
Where you were doing archaeology work was still in Ephron. Yes, that was just outside of Dubengrain.
Oh shoot, okay, that's right. Yeah. But like I said, my opinion is still somewhat mixed.
Which, actually, here, watch this.
Hmm.
Zooming out.
You look behind my head.
Oh, shoot.
Shoot.
So behind
That's right.
Dandy's
Gracia
head,
is down here, yeah.
on the most top left portion of the screen,
I love that.
I have an interactive map that I found of
Okay, I'm talking a lot.
of the world that I'm using for this campaign, which is really cool because like
Actually, you know
I
what,
can
yeah, I'll
zoom
just
in,
go
I
on
can
again.
zoom out. It looks like a satellite photo, and it still has like little name plates for all of the cities, like the major cities and even some of the towns that they visit.
Toast some bread.
So instances for this where I can ask them about a certain city, or if they're asking about travel time and they're like, I feel like that's wrong, I can just show them on the map, like, listen, you're going from here to here, like, that's going to take you a while, especially on foot or horseback or however you're traveling. So it's really nice to have
Find
that
that there's
visual aid
issues.
when talking
universe.
about going from point A to point B.
Indeed.
Some people have a lot of no.
And you, Creorn.
Although my father is from Ephron, and I remember the days of before the war, when free trade and the mages of Ephron would teach the rest of the town, they ostracized my father for loving a human. And for that, I was banned from living there. I hold no direct ill will towards the people, but simply the rules that they have enacted.
Okay. Do you have any opinions on Dubengrain? It's a city, yeah. See if I can move it to the left side of the... What's that?
Dubengrain was the capital of Ephron, right?
No, that's Adraxia. Here's Dubengrain. No, Grana was originally the capital.
Right, it's on the left.
Yeah.
Toronto's Dubengrain.
My brain's having
Dubin Crane hasn't actually come up a lot.
So
It's just one of the major Ephron cities.
it's City of Elves. I don't know what that.
There are many fantastic dig sites there. I'm an archaeologist. It's a very interesting city, but I could not do anything special. Thank you for that.
You don't have to answer, but where were you digging?
What was it? I was digging in an old tomb, I remember. Was it like a dragon tomb?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was digging in the tomb of a dragon.
It's the ruler of Duty.
What'd you say?
If I remember right from what Revelor was telling me, the red dragon used to be the ruler of Duty Crane.
He was considered a protector. His name was Garmoth. He was an ancient red dragon.
Exploring different dragon regions.
How about Odroxia, the current capital of Ephron?
No,
I just asked Dubin Crane.
Yeah.
Oh, no, before you ask, just F1 in general.
Yeah.
I have not visited Ephron. I have spent my entire life here within Iowa. So my opinions of Ephron apply to all of its cities.
My opinion of Braxia used to be, as where I hail from originally, it used to be a wonderful city, but was attacked by dragons and enormous constructs many years ago. It's not nearly as nice to look at anymore, that's for sure. It holds a lot of painful memories for me.
How does he speak? He's just nodding to what Revelor said. Staring off a little bit.
He doesn't seem bothered that you didn't answer. Kind of get the idea of, like, he knows who you are. He knows that there is a connection between the helm and yourself, and he trusts that. 18 years ago, 2 years after this war started, Iorn invaded and conquered the first elvish capital, Grana. Do any of you have opinions on this?
I think it was rash of the humans. I know it is their nature to strike first, as I was taught. But I believe that it was rash of the humans to make such a bold move as to conquer an enemy capital. And from a military standpoint, it spread our forces.
You would know that they took Grana easily because Grana was so separated from the other elven cities that they actually had more land, like the human territories had more land in between Odroxia and Grana, that it was a lot easier for them to take over that land, and the elves were cut off from their resources traveling from other cities. And that's why it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
historical perspective, it seemed a bad idea to put the capital in Grana to begin with, as cut off as it was. I mostly find myself puzzled as to why the humans would attack. There's not really anything for me in Grana. There's not much for me in Ephron in general.
Growing up, what do I know about the war starting?
You know that all the major cities were attacked by different giant titans of creatures.
Okay.
The human territories were attacked by dragons and treants and other fae-like entities.
Okay.
The cities of Ephron were attacked by constructs similar to Khatum and dragons. And Dragonborn and Tiefling areas were attacked by constructs and fae-like creatures. So everyone blamed everyone, separating the continent. Except for the gnomes. Just want to make money. In the first few years after the war began, Grana was the first to be invaded because of how they were treating the other races. Or so we're told. I wasn't there. What we are told is that the elves were slaughtering humans, dragonborns, tieflings, anyone that wasn't of elvish descent. And those that weren't slaughtered outright were enslaved. If this to be true, what is your opinion? You get that he's not. Sorry.
The elves that gave the first orders to begin the genocides should be held accountable.
It should.
Everyone's kind of pondering this question.
And it helps. You get that he's not trying to question
Right.
the reality of what happened because he wasn't there.
It's a hypothetical, which is why, like I said, everyone's kind of considering it because it is in fact it does recognize it's hypothetical. Well, hypothetically, if that were to happen, I would hope that there would be some kind of good cause behind it, but I can't think of it. I don't support the slaughter or the enslaving of people for no reason. It seems to be a slaughter with no purpose.
Cedric.
Cedric, is that fact not, is the story of slaughtering humans in Grana not an established fact? It's still rumors.
According to information that I have, it is fact. Many would argue.
It is fact.
I'm sorry?
It is my opinion that it is fact as well.
It
Did happen.
You get that he wasn't asking a hypothetical.
Right.
It was that he wasn't there. He has information that said it was true, but it hasn't been brought to severe public.
Right.
Sure.
Your guys' moral standpoint.
Yeah, he's checking your guys' moral standpoint. These are things that are going around, military minds, things that are high up the food chain on a political standpoint that the average civilian wouldn't know. And whether it be true or not, isn't what he's trying to find out.
Right. It's just everything.
As someone who was in the military before the war, was I hearing stories of the elves committing genocide at the beginning? Okay.
They asked you to come along, but you had retired beforehand.
Yep. I knew that I had chosen to retire before the war, but I mean, obviously, people are still going to talk. So I was just the information that he's asking us. Is it, history is written by the winners, and is it basically what I was basically asking is, are the humans giving themselves propaganda, or is this literally what I was hearing was happening?
It is what you were hearing that happened.
Okay.
Well, if such a thing were true, such a direct action like that would offend me. It's often not the best way to directly attack, slaughter, maim, and enslave your enemies. It's a far greater victory to make them see through your eyes than to close theirs forever.
Strong words. According to my reports, shortly after the invasion of Grana, the existing rulers escaped Grana and made their way to the new and current capital of Ephron, Adroxia, where what's that word that you used? Allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly, the rulers of Grana, the rulers of Adroxia, have created an organization to force humanity back into their place. Quote, back into their place. And since the loss of their last king, in lack of he's not pausing, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck the word is. For lack of a new legitimate hierarchy?
I don't know why I'm the dungeon master.
Yeah.
These guys know so
For
many more
lack of
words than I do.
An actual king, the organization. Huh?
Without an heir
Yeah.
to the throne.
Yeah. Without an heir, the organization has turned Odroxia into what Grana was. Those that aren't killed on sight are taken as slaves. If this to be true, what is your opinion? As a DM, before you say what you're going to say, remember that Sue's family is fleeing from Odroxia.
So you'll get more information on this when we finally record and make that intro video that I've talked so much about. So the party started in a town named Tariff, and the tavern slash inn there was Sue Garjin, and the bartender there, the keeper, was a younger dwarven woman named Sue, Sue Garsh. And the party took a nice liking to her, what's so interesting with Sue is that she's mute. She's missing most of her tongue, so she uses sign language to communicate. And while that's all, the idea behind it is really cool, I myself actually don't know any sign language, and now that I'm realizing that we're just going to be streaming this, I'm going to feel really bad about that. So what she does is she kind of carries around a notepad and pen to write down her thoughts and what she's trying to communicate with. And those who work with her really often, they learn sign language from her. And some of our party members had shown interest in, for in-game sake, to learn sign language so that they can better communicate with her. It ends up being the same thing where I'm just talking for her, but I'm just saying, like, she writes down this, and then this. And Dandy, our bard, he has, I believe it's a cantrip of messaging, and which is just a low-level spell, and he can basically send mental messages, and they can communicate back and forth just through their minds without actually having to talk. So it creates a really nice... It ended up creating a really nice relationship between Sue and some of the players, because I guess it was just something memorable for them. I don't know if they feel bad for her or something, but they really like this innkeeper. They ended up spending quite a bit of time with Sue, and they found out that her friends and her family are fleeing from Adroxia because the elves in the city are killing and enslaving humans and dwarves, and just anything that wasn't an elf. So they fled before they were caught, and they're trying to work their way back to Iorn, which is the kind of like a state of humans and dwarves. And Iorn and Ephron are two of the warring countries between Iorn, Ephron, and Decry. And so they're one of the many things that's on the player's minds are, we got to find our way into Ephron, find her family, find her friends, and get them to safety, just because it's the morally right thing to do. But also now a friend needs their help, and that's important to a lot of people. When someone comes to you with something that you might be able to help with, a lot of really great friends will, do their best to be there for you and even try to make the situation better. And in this case, these brave adventurers might just be the solution. Only time will tell on that one, unfortunately. I don't even know the answer yet. But we'll see what the party does.
So you guys have a second hand or a first hand experience of someone that this is affecting.
Certainly puts a damper on our plans to head in that direction too, if that's true.
If they are continuing the atrocities that Grana started at the beginning of this one, then they still need to be held accountable for their actions.
Nom 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 nom.
Very little use for monarchs and powerful organizations, and this is one of the reasons why, if true,
I'll try to look at it before you get there.
I'm going to work first.
Okay, so I got time. So you have no use for hierarchies.
So I have no use for monarchs, hierarchies, large powerful organizations. This is one of the reasons why
Welcome to the channel.
like this sort of thing is true. It's something that it's something that
How are you guys doing today?
to throw off the balance of power.
Oh, Ashira, you're never in the way.
And only one 10-year-old can stop
Aren't
it.
you supposed to be at work right now?
Everything changed.
When the elves attacked.
There's no way you're all on break.
Yeah, I'm going to do my I don't like snacks.
You're on break? It's called multitasking. Uh-huh.
Connor, do you have anything to add?
Yeah. Speaking of multitasking, I'm finally working on my Book of Summoning stuff.
I'm not a military guy.
Last time, or at least 40 minutes.
Oh,
Not anywhere near that. Not anywhere near that. I'm not in war, but
Well, I figure I'm just sitting here at my computer, chit-chatting with people. Now's probably a great time.
I thank you each for your honesty and for your responses. Before I end the spell, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be like looking up car parts or something like that that I shouldn't be spending my money on.
I was actually about to ask this question. Yeah, I was like, this seems to be like a connected person.
Marcus Matalon was the first king of our continent. Was known as the Great Uniter. He had a council of trusted allies and friends. Built the first city of Calpheon. This was about 100 years ago, of course. Some of the council members are still alive. Matalon himself mysteriously died along with his son, but no body was ever found. The Matalon was left in the council.
Nice. It's gonna be really boring for you.
More cities were built. But as each city was built, they allowed each city to govern themselves. Yeah, it was.
That's all I am to you is background noise.
Keep in line or we'll shut you down. But about 10 years after Matalon passed, the council just kind of dispersed.
Oof. Just so harsh.
Marcus Matalon had a son.
And a daughter.
What happened to his daughter?
From what I know, she lived a good long life. They lived in a castle not far from here, actually.
When you spoke with the council, some of them possibly still being alive. Would there be any clues to when where they might be?
I know the kin of Glavendor resides in Calpheon. And from what I understand, King Lillibine is still in Port Rat.
Say Port Rat.
Port, P-O-R-T.
King Lilibane?
Lillibine.
Lilibine. Littlebine? Or
L-I-L-B-I-N-E.
Okay, Lilibine.
Say king.
He is now. His son Prince Barib, is actually who started Altanova. Still resides in the city.
The son?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're not there.
Out there. Yeah, but you have it covered.
You've been awfully quiet, Dandy.
Oh, there have been plenty of times Danny would have been speaking up.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's interesting.
Let's see.
And what of the others?
You'll have to forgive me. I don't quite remember everyone on the council. There was Metallan, of course, Lilbine, Glavendor.
I believe there was Famrel.
Zeno, Adthor, Ethel.
Famrail, yes.
I imagine Famrel's probably still somewhere in that moment. Assuming he's still alive.
You get a message mentally. Due to our agreement, I will speak no more. What were the other names that you just said, Kieran?
Zeno. I have Zeno Tresarno, Adthor O'Maiden, Ethel Addington. That is. So yeah, there was the king, the 6 council members, and then Orion as an advisor.
Right.
Who often was listened to as if he was on the council.
You'll have to forgive me. I don't quite remember everything from that time. Ethan, you good?
Yeah. The 6 hours of sleep is not
Uh-oh. You want an energy drink?
Hmm?
You want an energy drink? I got Monster.
I've never.
Really?
I've only had Amp.
I haven't had Amp in forever.
Or Ethan falling asleep
you
in the
wanna
middle
try
of
Monster?
D&D.
The couch is just comfy.
It was a pretty busy weekend for him, though.
So, I'm not sure if it's intentional, but Ethan's camera is off. We cannot.
It is intentional. When you guys, so basically, I had to run 2 separate Discords on my computer so that you guys could see him. Because the Discord that he's on, he's using it to view you guys. But it's literally just a monitor sitting on the table with my Steam Link.
Okay.
So, but my computer was throwing a fit about having 2 Discords so that you guys could see him. So I closed it out.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if it was something got clicked.
No, unfortunately, it was intentional.
Okay.
So Cedric goes, I don't know a lot about the rest of the people in the console based off of memory. I'm sure I've got a book here I can find more if you'd like. But those are just a few that I know of offhand.
Recognizing that the council was of many races. They weren't just human. What were your thoughts on the council?
I have no ill will. There were gnomes and elves, half-elves, humans. No one of great diversity, but they were fair. They kept each other in check.
Just as you asked us, I will ask you. What are your thoughts on Ep.2?
To those living within the city limits, or just the state, I have no ill will. For those that go out of their way to murder or enslave other people because of how they were born, I do not like them. I am not in a position to go to war against people I do not like, but this is my opinion.
What does the helm say about the atrocities that the elves have committed? Or what did the teachings of the helm? I don't know if he can communicate directly. I genuinely don't know. But what does either the helm or the teachings of the helm say about the status of the war and everything included?
The teachings of the Helm tell us that all life is intended to be protected. He only speaks to a few of us. And those of us that he does talk to often become great adventurers, great protectors. But he seems to only talk to humans. And does not give us a lot of insider knowledge. We do what we can to protect who we can.
What's gonna happen to the body? What was that cage?
To be honest, I don't know what to call it other than a forge.
So it's a big fire. You're incinerating the body.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna burn the wood up.
No,
How's they're gonna dump it out?
we have someone down there.
Gotcha. As long as you have the wheelbarrow. I just
Yeah,
rented the
It
thing.
was a
it's probably back up here at this point.
Okay.
If that is all for sensitive questions, I'll end the spell. He does a little huzzah with his hands.
What's that?
What about a bagel?
Nothing. I'm trying to figure out how to spell barrel, and my mind wouldn't accept that the way I spelled it was correct.
Oh, okay. He ends the spell, and you get a mental message. If you'd like, I can tell you more about what I know about the Zirquin family.
We still have about another hour and 45 minutes left of this session. But
There's not a lot of elves.
here in just a minute, I'm going to take a short break. No more than a minute or two. Just use the restroom, get another soda.
He stands up,
and then
after ending the spell, does a quick little stretch.
Restart the recording so that I can upload these as a part 1 and a part 2 onto the YouTube. That way it's easier to swallow for those who aren't hanging out with me right now. But to answer your question, this session has about another hour and 45 minutes. And then that's about all I'm going to have time for today, since I get to play Dungeons & Dragons today.
That I can trust you guys. All of you guys. With that being said, there's a lot of work to be done. And he turns around to one of the hundreds of books around the wall, and he pulls one spine, tilts it back, and you hear it. And he pushes one of the bookshelves away, revealing a hidden room behind his desk. D&D and Otar.
Done.
All right. This is actually a great point for me to take a break. What has happened so far in this session? So, where the party had left off is they had crawled out of the cave that they were in after fighting Farid, fighting 2 vampire spawns, and coming up through a home in the city of Altanova. The party split. Dandy and Otar went off to a bar, a tavern, to find out about a bounty that was potentially placed onto our barbarian's head. You'll find out more about that here shortly. As far as our other 3 players, Connor, Revlor, and Creorn, they've spent the last hour and a half talking with the priest known as Cedric Mockin. He casted the spell Zone of Truth and asked some sensitive questions regarding political views about the war. With Adroxia killing and enslaving other races, and Creorn and Revelor being a elf and a half-elf, the priest of the human god of protection wanted to make sure that these were trustworthy folk. And using the Zone of Truth and some delicately worded questions, he's so far found that they seem to be relatively trustworthy, at least for this topic. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording, but don't go anywhere. I will be back in just a minute with the last part of this session, and we will have session 12. Sorry, for you guys, episode 2 wrapped up in one day. And be sure to check out my YouTube, D Machine DMs. There it is. That's the screen you're looking for. On YouTube, you can check out the whole first episode, the 3 parts of me reviewing it, and here in good amount of time, hopefully, we will have the edited version of episode 2 that we are currently reviewing, so you can listen or watch that uninterrupted by me and hanging out with me doing my little bits of a arts and crafts project. So we'll see you guys back here in just a minute.